Okay, everybody, I've got a bit of a book haul video today. Got a lot to talk about, so I'm not going to waste too much time. I'm just going to jump right into this, and I will go ahead and say everything you see in front of you, none of it was really expensive. I mean, together it adds up to a not a bad chunk of change, but pretty cheap considering everything I have in front of me. So, first things first is I will talk about Frank Miller's Daredevil Born Again. I've been watching Daredevil the show on Disney Plus, and I've not really cared too much about Daredevil until now. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to go and buy a comic and see what I think. So I'm highly looking forward to reading this. Next, I have another Frank Miller work, The Dark Knight Returns, a classic comic. I've read it and I love it, and I'm so glad that I found it pretty cheap so I can add it to my collection. Frank Miller is a pretty good comic writer from what I've experienced so far, and I like having more Frank Miller work. I need more. I need to get more. Next up, I have I Kill Giants. I've read this one a couple of times. I like it, and it was cheap, and I'm like, I gotta get it. Um, Maybe when I'm done rereading it, I'll give a full review of this one because I mean, it's a good comic. I would highly recommend it. I remember seeing someone in high school having it, and that was kind of the reason why I read it later on. I don't even think this was someone I even really got along with or had any real connection with, but for some reason that comic just stayed in my mind for years, and then I picked it up and I read it and I was like, okay, this is pretty good stuff. Dark, but pretty good. Speaking of dark, I managed to get all 10 of the main volumes of Neil Gaiman's The Sandman, and I have to say that this is a super important comic book series for me because it showed me what comics could be. And this is it's an interesting series, it's a deep series, it's a weird series, and I was for it every step of the way, and I cannot wait to reread it again. Maybe a lot of this stuff, when I finally get around to reading or rereading, I need to make some videos about it and talk about it, give my thoughts. But yeah, I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to add this to my collection, and I managed to get all 10 of them. So, super excited there. Now we're going to the novels. After I had bought so many comics, I didn't know if I would be able to get any books, but the books were so cheap I couldn't ignore it. So I've been getting some Orson Scott Card books, and I thought, let's get more of the Ender's Game series. So I have Speaker for the Dead, I guess Xenocide, Children of the Mind, Shadow of the Hegemon, Shadow of the Giant, and Shadow Puppets. I don't know anything about Ender's Game outside of the big plot twist everyone knows about Ender's Game. I have Ender's Game. I need to read it, but I've got several more books now. So if I really like Ender's Game, I'll just keep going through. We'll have to see. But super excited there. This I kind of got on a whim. I managed to get a trilogy of Star Wars books. It is the Jedi Academy trilogy, and the reason why me and my brother and my brother-in-law, we were talking about Star Wars stuff, and I I remember reading some of the Legends books when I was a kid, before Disney, just made it all non-canon, and I know that there's a lot of cool stories there, and I would love to experience them and to know more about it because I have a kind of a basic surface level knowledge of some of it, but I would like to gain a little deeper perspective on it all. So I'm hoping that reading these will kind of help me out. Um, so yeah, because I would, I'd like to read about Luke actually being cool for once. it'd be nice to read about him actually being cool and doing stuff. So, I don't know. We'll see. Definitely we'll need to do a review of those. And the last is another George Lucas thing written by Chris Claremont. I've not read anything by Chris Claremont, but I do know he's really good. He did some real good run on X-Men, and I like George Lucas related material. I've not watched the movie Willow, so I know I need to do that, but I saw that there were these 3 books, Shadow Moon, Shadow Dawn, and Shadow Star. So I thought, you know what? Why not? It's cheap. Let's get them. Let's enjoy them. And if I don't enjoy them, I'm perfectly willing to give them to a friend, because I can think of some people who love George Lucas related material. So I guess that kind of wraps it up in terms of this particular book haul. I might have some more books to talk about in later videos, either now or down the road. But I have to say, this was a very good haul. I was very satisfied with what I got, because I got some comics, got some things I've read, got some things I haven't read, got some books that I've been needing to add to my collection. So, and things I didn't even know I needed to add to my collection. So, you know, that's what it's all about. Going on a bit of a book spree whenever you get the chance, and finding things that you didn't even know you wanted. So, hope you all have a great day. If there's any cool finds that you've been able to get, please leave it in the comments below. Otherwise, God bless you and have a good day.